Let's take one of the most interesting day trips from Dubrovnik, Croatia, to the historic city of Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina. With 5 days in Dubrovnik, we wanted to check out some of the surrounding areas, so we decided on a day trip to Mostar Bosnia, a city filled with history, culture, and interesting architecture, the crossroads of the Muslim East and the Christian West. We also visited the beautiful Kravaca waterfalls to end the afternoon with some relaxation. The tour began early that morning when the bus picked us up near our apartment. We stopped in a few more places around Dubrovnik to pick up our tour mates. The first part of the drive was along the Croatian coast, before we entered into Bosnia and Herzegovina. After an uneventful stop at the border, we stopped for snacks in the Bosnian city of Noon. This is a small sliver of Bosnia on the Adriatic. It's otherwise a landlocked country. Bosnia and Croatia were both part of the former Yugoslavia. We arrived after a 2.5-hour drive along the coast and the countryside. Arriving in Mostar, we parked near the Catholic Church and its new bell tower. Buildings damaged in the war as Yugoslavia broke apart in the 1990s are still present. The flag of Bosnia and Mostar flies side by side. Mostar is a historical crossroads of East and West. With a population that's 50% Muslim, there are numerous mosques. Eastern Orthodox Christians also are present, mostly ethnic Serbs. The Catholics are primary ethnic Croatians who also hold citizenship in Croatia. A tour guide took us on a 40-minute tour to points of interest while sharing a little history. The original bridge in Mostar was a technical proof of concept for the much larger and well-known Old Bridge of Mostar. The bridge deck was not held up by towers, as in a traditional suspension bridge, but the two sides of the bridge lean against each other, creating the world's largest man-made arch to date. The Muslim population is known as Bosniaks. They converted to Islam when the Ottoman Empire conquered this area in the 14th and 1500s. It was under Ottoman control until 1908. Ragusa, the city-state you see nearby, is the original name for Dubrovnik. The Ottoman Sultan commissioned the old bridge in 1557. The signature of the city, an engineering marvel. A great example of Islamic architecture in the Balkans. We had lunch at a local restaurant with traditional Bosnian dishes. Walking through the market streets of Mostar, it's such a cool mix of sounds and smells. You've got copper shops on both sides, scarves and souvenirs everywhere, and the scent of grilled sausages in the air. The stone path's a little slippery, but just up ahead is the old bridge. And honestly, it's a sight to see. Crossing the old bridge, it's wild how steep this thing is. The stones are slick, and the walk is a bit challenging. And that view over the Neretva River is unreal. You have to see this in person. It's pure magic up here. Once you cross the old bridge, the vibe changes. It opens up into this colorful maze of shops and stalls that feel straight out of a storybook. Everywhere you look, there's copper, hammered in tea sets, catching the sunlight, trays and cups with these crazy detailed designs. You can actually hear the tap, tap, tap of artisans working inside some of the shops. Then there's the vibrant colored rugs, another regional specialty. There's a mix of paintings from the area, lots of choices of great art, including these brightly colored paintings of Mostar. Vibrant scenes of the town, in the day and in the evening. Speaking of colors, these lamps were awesome. Hand-cut glass in multitude of colors, forming geometric patterns. Between the copper and all the other art, and the sound of the river in the background, this side of Mostar is like a living art gallery. The view back over the river was top-notch, with the old bridge and a nice mountain range behind it. If you want to pick up a souvenir, a scarf is a good option. Beautiful woven textiles from the area. If you're looking for a treat like baklava or Turkish delight, try Ottomans with its traditional Islamic architecture. Speaking of Islamic architecture, the Koshki Mahed Pasha Mosque is right around the corner. Built in the 1600s, it's easy to see from the old bridge. We didn't get to see the inside, but it does have interesting Islamic architecture, with dome ceilings, arches, and geometric patterns. For a fee, you can climb the minaret, which has excellent views of the river and the town beyond, including this bombed-out building. It was my first time visiting a Muslim graveyard. Obviously, the headstones would not be crosses, but I didn't know what to expect. The embedded stones create patterns in the streets. The stones are smooth based on the footsteps of thousands of travelers, so they can be a bit slick. As we returned back to the bridge, we enjoyed some more shopping and people watching. Mostar has long been a mixing pot of Muslim Bosniaks, Catholic Croatians, and Orthodox Christian Serbs, until the breakup of Yugoslavia in the early 90s. The war began in Mostar with an 18-month siege starting in 1992, with the Yugoslav army, primarily Serbian, fought against the HVO, known as the Croatian Defense Council, made up of 70% of Croatian Bosnians and 30% Bosniaks. As the Serbs were defeated, the HVO purged the Muslim Bosniaks, which then formed the Bosnian army, which took up arms against the HVO. Here's a calendar of Joseph Tito, the longtime leader of the unified Yugoslavia. On the way out, we did a little bit more shopping, and my wife bought a handbag. We drove through the countryside to our next stop. "25 miles south of Mostar, we visited the Kravica waterfalls on the Trebizat River. Reaching the base, there are a few cafes available for drinks and food. It's a popular area to visit for tourists and locals. Take the floating bridge across to access the swimming areas and reach the waterfalls. There's an impressive array of waterfalls cascading down from different spots. A really cool spot that combines nature and relaxation. Well worth a visit. I'd put it even higher on your list if you didn't have a chance to visit Plitvice Lakes or Kirka National Park. I took a couple long exposure shots to capture the waterfall. Linda's hanging on the banks after a brief swim. We stopped by one of the cafes to enjoy a beer and a snack with a view. I took a walk through the water to get a more up-close and personal view of the waterfalls. There were a bunch of other people in the water, but everybody was enjoying themselves. The water is amazingly clear. I took my GoPro underwater to give a sense of how clear the water was. It wasn't just us tourists, there were fish in the water as well. Visiting the Kravica waterfalls is a great addition to a trip to Mostar. Goodbye, Kravica. It's time to return to Dubrovnik. On the way back, we passed a Muslim cemetery with fresh graves from the ethnic cleansing of the 1990s. It's my understanding that all three of the major groups, the Serbs, Croatians, and Bosniaks, were guilty of ethnic cleansing to some degree. A black mark on the history of the region. Our final stop to stretch our legs was at the Pelzijak Bridge, an architectural marvel built in conjunction with the EU, which saves time for travel in the region, allowing them to skip the section of Bosnia and avoid a border crossing.
For you to come 1.5 hours.